Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Movin' Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. This week, it's the podcast where we watch Muppets at Walt Disney World 47 minutes at a time and talk about it a lot. I'm your host, Anthony Strand.
I'm your other host, Ryan Rowe.
And we have one of our favorite guests, one of our most frequent guests. Who is it?
Hi, I'm Danny Horn. So thrilled to be here.
Danny Horn from Superheroes Every Day.
That's right.
Yeah.
Formerly of Tough Pigs. And
yes,
yeah.
But always of Tough Pigs in our hearts.
Yes, always
Oh,
Tough
yes.
Pigs. And also now my new project is called Superheroes Every Day.
And it's great.
A blog which everyone should read.
A blog which everyone should read. History of superhero movies in order and in detail. Currently getting deep into Superman 2. And moving on from there.
How many
It's great.
installments was your coverage of the first Superman movie?
100,
Yeah.
which I learned was too many. So
Wait.
It's very detailed, though.
it is. It's. I'm speeding up.
Oh, okay.
My favorite thing about your coverage of Superman is that instead of entry 99, you turned the Earth backwards to do another entry number 98. Yeah. And also did not comment on it. Like just the one
That's
about
how I
turning the
roll.
Earth backwards was 98 again. I love that.
That is
What a
how I
guy.
roll. No, it's been really fun, and it would be great if people would come by and take a look.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I think they should.
Great.
But today we are talking about Muppets at Walt Disney World. As I said up front, Muppets at Walt Disney World was aired on NBC as part of Wonderful World of Disney on May 6th, 1990. So Jim Henson died just 10 days after this thing aired.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we think about how close this was to the end of his life. Like Kermit seems fine. All of his characters seem like themselves here, whatever.
Oh, I think about this. I think about this all the time. Like this was, because I don't know if you were around, if you were like watching the stuff at that point, but like, this was so exciting because like here's they'd done like the Jim Henson Hour recently and it hadn't done that well and it got canceled, and now it was like, oh, now they're gonna be part of Disney. They're gonna be part of Disney parks. Like this is gonna be like a new renaissance of Muppet stuff. And then like a week and a half later, Henson dies.
Right. This special
Yeah.
exists because they thought that Disney was going to buy Henson Associates and the Muppets were going to become part of Disney, and then that all fell apart after Jim died.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, we should say, someone will say it if we don't.
Yeah.
Of course, that did happen 14 years later.
Yeah, eventually.
Disney did buy the Muppets, but not at this time.
And now, actually, the Muppets are in the Imagineering division of Disney, which is the department that does all the theme park stuff. So that's kind of an interesting full circle thing.
Right. So before we get into the special, though, we should talk about our varying levels of experience with Disney parks, because we all have indeed varying levels of experience. So, Danny, what's your history? I know you're a big Disney parks guy.
I love Disneyland. I go like before the pandemic, usually go like 2-3 times a year. Our big vacations over the last several years, like went to Tokyo, so I could go to Tokyo Disneyland, went to Paris, I could go to Disney Paris. I am a huge Disney Parks fan.
Right. And Ryan?
I am also a big fan of Disney parks. I have been to Disney World in Florida 3 times and Disneyland in Anaheim 3 times. I have not been to Paris or Tokyo or any of those, but I would like to eventually.
Awesome.
And I've never been to a Disney park. Okay, moving on. So,
well, I know that like Anthony, that you really don't like Disney parks, that you are
no, it's not even that I don't like. I've never been to one. I have no idea. Genuinely have no idea if I would like it or not. I probably would. But what I don't like is the fact that if you say you've never been to a Disney park, people are like, oh, but you have to.
Right.
Oh, wow. You haven't spent $2,000 to take a picture in front of the same castle as me? Wow. How are you alive? Why are you a person? That's what I hate. It's
wait. Why are you a person?
Apparently there's no reason. People like, if you say you haven't been to a real city or like an actual landmark, that's just people don't care. They're just like, oh, okay. Everybody does different stuff. But if you're like, I haven't been to this, like, State Fair food and long lines village in Florida,
Right.
People go nuts. People act like there's something wrong with you, and I'll never.
It's so
understand
funny
it
that you
'cause-
frame it in terms of a theme park versus a real city, because one thing I've come to realize about myself is that I love artifice. Like, if you gave me a choice between going to a national park or a theme park where everything is like fake and made by people, I would pick the theme park every time.
Yeah.
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 Why wouldn't you?
I mean,
It's awesome.
I don't like thrill rides at all. I can't do them, so that's part of it. I always sound like a nutcase when I talk about this, so I'm trying to figure out what to say.
Well, so I do, Anthony. Like, I have potentially a solution for this, which is, as we're talking about this, if we get into a point where like we're going like too far one direction or the other, we will use the time-honored de-escalation technique of saying, you know what, you've given us all a lot to think about.
Wait, which of us is going to say that to whom?
I don't know.
So somebody's just got.
But if we need it, like, that is now. So just feel free to go, wherever you want to go, and if we have to,
okay,
you've given us all a lot to think about.
I mean, like, Ryan and I talked about this the other day. If we get to the point where, and I know what'll happen, where like we're talking about an attraction that is seen in this special,
Mm-hmm.
and then you guys are like, "Oh, I have thoughts about that attraction for some reason." I'll just take a nap. I don't care. I don't have to listen to
You
it.
can just go sit in the corner.
You mean like engage in the content of this special?
Yeah, but
if we
You
do
can go
that,
read a nice book while we do
no,
that.
I
That'd be
don't.
nice.
But that's what I'm saying. Is like
it's okay. All right.
it's baffling to me that the content of this special is like anything more real than the content of Muppets Go to the Movies. Like, I have way more to say about like Son of Frankenstein than I do about anything in this, but like nobody shames me for not having opinions about Son of Frankenstein. I'm telling you, the neuroses go deep. I'm telling you.
But you should go
It's
around
not
shaming
healthy.
other people for not having opinions about Son of Frankenstein. You should be like, what? You haven't seen Son of Frankenstein? How are you a person?
And then everyone would resent me.
No.
There you go.
You can't win.
Yeah. I can't. And I know I've said this to you, Ryan, but like part of it is that I'm also a big Disney fan,
Right.
Like, for example, like my family and I are watching all of the animated movies in reverse order right now. We're going through them.
Lovely.
Started at Encanto. We're working backwards. We're at
Nice.
like Meet the Robinsons right now. So
you get into that's a rough
rough patch.
right there.
there's I got Chicken Little and Home on the Range
Home on
coming
the
out.
Range.
Yeah.
Brother Bear. But my point is, nobody who does that
Mhm.
is like also, I think
Anti-Disney.
that
Yep.
I think everything would be better if no one ever mentioned Walt Disney World to me in my life.
Right.
Right.
So,
And-
so that's why I think it's weird. It's because people like don't expect it.
Right. And I have said to you that there's an alternate reality version of Anthony who likes the Disney parks, and your personality is such, like all of us here, and most of the people who are listening to this, that like if you liked them at all, you would be doing nerdy things like, ranking your favorite versions of Adventureland or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like I can't imagine going to Florida
Right.
ever. Like
So
you
this-
say that,
so this-
and it's like I get what you mean, but also like this is just like some place in some state I don't live. Who cares? I don't have feelings about Council Bluffs, Iowa. Like, why would I? Who cares?
Oh, you have to go.
Oh my
You've
God.
never been to Council Bluffs, Iowa? You have to.
So this special, it's the prequel to Muppet Haunted Mansion. Is that right?
Yeah,
Do I
which
understand that?
actually, Joe and I did a Tough Pigs article about how I don't care about the references in that. Also,
I was trying to,
And that is full of references, but I thought it was interesting that you were able to enjoy that as much as you did.
well, but the references in that are also like, this is a thing from the ride. Welcome, foolish Muppets. Like it's all signposted, like it's like
Yeah.
the Statler and Waldorf's doom buggy is stuck. That's the other thing. Apparently the rides break down all the time, and that's part of the fun. What
They
is
don't break
this
down all the
place?
time. They don't break down all the time. I think for
You
people
know,
who
There's a
have been,
joke in the special about how they break down all the time, and everyone knows it. Ha ha.
You know what, Anthony? You've given us
What?
all a lot to think about.
All right, so Muppets of Walt Disney.
Wait,
World.
the other thing I wanted to say though is
Works. It always
people,
works every time.
People like to talk about, I guess, children of the '90s like to talk about how every ABC sitcom did an episode where the cast went to Disney World. Full House did it, Family Matters, Step by Step, Boy Meets World, Roseanne. But the Muppets did it first. I don't think there were any other... I mean, maybe like way back there was some other TV show that did a Disneyland episode or something. But the Muppets were trailblazers in that way, in that they did this before all those other sitcoms.
Yeah, that is good. But before we even get into it, was like continuing to push off the special. Yes. Before the special starts, we have an intro from Michael Eisner. Because Michael Eisner, who was the head of the Walt Disney Company in those days, really wanted to project an image that he was Walt Disney now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So, Wonderful World of Disney, he did an intro for every episode. He would say, hello.
Like Walt Disney did. Yeah.
I'm Michael Eisner. Yeah. And then it'd just be like a minute.
He's so not, though.
I will say, though, I definitely fell for that as a kid. Like, watching The Magical World of Disney every single week on Sunday nights, and seeing him, I was like, oh, yeah, this guy is the new Walt Disney. Like, this is just the guy who's, who gives a friendly greeting and says, you're gonna watch Robin Hood this week. Enjoy it.
Right.
Or Splash or whatever.
He's trying for the kind of, like, effortless Disney, like, paternal charm. And he is just not built for it.
No, he does
like,
not.
That's not actually in his. Yeah, and I actually think like this opening, where he's trying to interact with Muppets, I think really shows. Like, if you're kind of stiff, you can get away with it. But if you're kind of stiff and you're standing next to Muppets, like, it's real obvious how stiff you are.
So we should say what happens is he's eating breakfast with Fozzie and Fozzie's mom. And then he spills on his shirt sleeve, and then Gonzo's like, we'll clean it up. And then a bunch of Muppet monsters run in, including Uncle Deadly, which nice to see that guy.
And Tug from Little Muppet Monsters.
They all run in and just kind of like
they dogpile him.
Yeah, they dogpile him. And then like when they leave, his shirt's all ripped. And then he looks into the camera and says, they're here.
But without that much emotion, like you just did it much more expressively than he does.
Yes, that's true. So. How do you think he does it? Can you do a pass?
It's kind of like they're here.
Yeah, that's about right.
That would do it. Yeah.
So there's a blooper reel from the special that's out there. I'm not sure if it's on YouTube or not. Actually, currently
it is. I just watched
great.
It. Yeah.
A lot of the blooper reel at the beginning is from this intro because Michael Eisner has a really hard time with his lines here, especially saying, I'm here at the Grand Floridian Hotel. He keeps messing that up. He says the Gland Floridian and the Gland Floridian. He just can't get these lines right. And of course, Fozzie and his ma are having a lot of fun with it, like kind of lightly making fun of their would-be new boss. But that's fun to watch.
Welcome, everyone. I'm in the lobby of the Gland Floridian.
Well, we could change the name. Could I request a room with a cave? Because I'm used to
I'd
that.
like to hibernate here.
Welcome, everyone. I'm in the lobby of the Gland.
This is a wonderful hotel. Thank you for letting us stay here.
Such a beautiful.
Well, bears don't usually get to go in places like this.
Thanks a lot. It's great. Welcome, everyone. I'm in the lobby of the Grand Floridian.
Okay, who else can we get?
One thing that is fun about that also is I think in every take, Fozzie and Ma are saying different things.
Yeah. They're like Ma at one point says, "That's a nice chandelier. Can we take it home with us?" Or something like that. And every time it's a new thing as the take begins. Yeah, those guys are funny.
Which is lovely and just shows like Frank Oz just refuses to do the same thing twice.
Yeah.
And I actually haven't seen that, so I'm glad you told me and I'm sure many of our listeners will be in the same boat. Yeah, so I got to go check it out after we're done recording.
So the thing that I think is important about this intro is like this really is this collision now of like Disney and Muppets, which up until now have been kept very separate. I think it was like Henson's death obviously is super tragic for all of the reasons. One of them is like, I think he would have had so much fun doing Disney park stuff. He clearly loved Disney parks, and it seems to me like, okay, so the thing that happened, just if folks don't know, is that in 1989, Eisner suggested to Henson that they acquire the Muppets. They announced that they're working out a deal. And then it took like more than a year for that deal actually to like get settled by the lawyers. There's a lot of complicated
I imagine is
stuff.
pretty standard for big mergers like that.
But while that was going on, Henson was so excited about doing stuff that he just started doing stuff. The contract was going to include like not just the characters and the merchandising and stuff, but also Henson was going to have a creative contract with them for 15 years. And that's basically the reason why it fell apart when he died, because they were like, well, but the terms of this contract were
just
like,
want the Muppet characters. They also wanted
Henson,
this creative genius. Yeah.
And he was so excited that like he made Muppet Vision 3D. They made this Muppets at Disney World special. They recorded a whole live show that debuted in the parks like a couple weeks after Henson died.
Yeah, that was called Here Come the Muppets, right?
Yeah. So he was just like headlong doing stuff. And then the problem was like when he died and then everything fell apart, that Disney was like, okay, I guess we can keep showing this stuff though, because here we are doing it. And so that is kind of how things got messy. But it is lovely here, like seeing, that if Disney is often thought of as kind of like precious and perfect and is like trying to keep everything very clean and very nice. Like this is the Muppets coming in and saying like, no way, like they're just like inherently chaotic and messy and they're like going to screw up the perfection of this park.
Right. The potential for the Muppets to make fun of Disney is just, there's just so much there.
Yeah. And so that's like the Poltergeist reference. That's the like, they're here because he knows in his heart that something dangerous is on its way.
I see people on social media occasionally like saying stuff like, oh, if Jim Henson had lived, he never would have sold the Muppets to Disney. But like, no, he wanted to.
He was so
really
into it.
Excited to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I will say, and this is a discussion for another time, perhaps. But
when has that sentence ever been said on this podcast?
I think that Michael Eisner's Disney that Jim Henson was planning to sell to, and Bob Iger's Disney, who ended up mostly dealing with the Muppets after Eisner left, are two very different animals.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Like I think that Eisner wanted the Muppets to become part of like the classic Disney family.
Mm-hmm.
And then he bought the Muppets, retired, and Bob Iger was like, "Forget all that crap. Give me Marvel. Give me Star Wars.
Right.
You know."
And also, let's just keep making the same movies over and over again.
Yeah, let's remake all the movies.
Forget about new things. Nobody cares about new things anymore. Let's just keep on doing the old things.
The Muppets are an old thing.
Well,
so
yeah,
that doesn't apply in this case. But
at this time, like they were still like they had never stopped being active.
Wait, are we mad at Iger?
I hate Iger. I think he's the worst.
I didn't realize that. Okay, all right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he's the worst, but I guess that's harsh. I think he has very little interest in like what I think of as the Disney brand. I think he has much more interest in like we bought Star Wars, we bought Marvel.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine Disney buying Star Wars in any previous era.
Right. Yeah. Right. I think that like the Disney name used to mean like a very specific, like family friendly focused thing, and Iger just wanted it to mean we own all entertainment.
Huh.
And I think that it has pumped a lot of money into Star Wars and Marvel at the expense of like what I want Disney to be.
Right.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
See, I like having everything all in one place. And then we could just watch it all on Disney Plus.
We were going to get Captain America movies no matter what, you know, like, and anyone could make those. Anyways, see, I'm so grumpy today. This is what happens when
I agree with everything.
This is what happens.
Said.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I don't
need
giving
one
us all a lot to
company
think
to
about.
own every single entertainment thing in history.
Right, and like the Fox buyout, I hate that.
Yeah, me too.
And like you say everything on Disney Plus. Everything's not on Disney. Do you know what's not on Disney Plus, Danny?
What?
most of the old terrible live action Disney movies, which is like what I want to be. Like, give me like I can't
Like
I
what?
can't watch
Computer Wore Tennis Shoes is on it.
No, that's
that.
on there. But I'm talking about like Moon
Return
Pilot.
to which now?
No, like I'm talking
Moon
about like
Pilot?
Moon Pilot. Never a dull moment.
Is the Ugly
like,
Dachshund there?
Ugly Dachshund, I'm not sure, but like Monkeys Go Home isn't on there. Like, this is what I'm saying. Old, terrible garbage that is what I think of when I think of the name Disney. Like, like Home Alone is on a Disney streaming service, but not
that feels
Monkeys
so weird
Go
to me.
Home.
The Simpsons. That it just feels
The
so
Simpsons.
weird.
Like, it's wrong. I don't like it. I don't care for it. You know.
All right. You have a very particular vision of what you would like to see to be.
Yeah, it's just be the Walt Disney Company, you know, not be whatever else. But this is what happens when someone reminds me that Walt Disney World exists.
You've given us all a lot to think about.
I can just leave if you guys want to just talk.
I don't. Absolutely, I don't.
No, this is good
All
stuff.
right.
This is lovely. I love it.
So what happens in this one? We actually
swamp.
when the swamp, right? When the actual special starts out, we see the Muppets walking through the swamp. We get this great shot of all their feet walking through the swamp.
This must be a nightmare for all those people out there who hate seeing Muppet feet. Because it's a shot of just the feet of all the Muppets. I don't know. They're just people who talk about... Yeah, they talk about how weirded out they get to think about the Muppets having feet. I mean...
I feel like today I am learning about people disliking things that I had no idea people were disliking. This is a very educational experience for me, this podcast.
I think that those people don't like to see full body Muppets. And what we're seeing here is not full body Muppets. Right?
It's just like... True. So you think they would be okay like with just seeing feet without seeing the rest of the Muppet?
I think it's better. I think what those people don't like is like, oh, why does Fozzie have a whole body? Which I don't really get it. But I think like that's when you see the complaints, you know?
Right.
Well, yeah, but I think, now they know they're going to Disneyland or going to Disney World. Like they are going to be presented as live costumes. And this is now heralding
that's true.
The arrival of Muppets with legs.
They have to know what all of their legs look like.
Exactly.
But before they get to Walt Disney World, they're not going there. They're going to visit Kermit's family in the swamp.
Yes.
And so they make some jokes as they walk up. We kind of see all the pairings we're going to follow throughout the show. They're all introduced one by one here, and everyone hates that they have to go see Kermit's family. Like they're all just
they're not
complete
wrong.
Jerks to him about it.
They're not wrong. So one thing that's funny is like there's a question about like who knows what's happening right now and who doesn't. It seems like Kermit has just tricked everybody. But as they go down the line, like Floyd has a fishing pole and Janice has a surfboard and Link Hogtrub has like a floaty.
A floaty, yeah.
So they all know that it's water related.
There's gonna be water. Yeah.
The thing that they're going to, but they're very fuzzy on the details. Kermit has tricked them all. Ma Bear, they have picked up Ma Bear from Muppet Family Christmas, and now she gets to like now she's a real character. Like now she's not just like a special character.
Yeah, so great.
Yeah,
to
she's
see
like
more
part of the
her.
gang.
Yeah. Once again, Fozzie has like ruined her vacation time.
Oh, that's true. But Fozzie doesn't seem to know what's going on either. Like,
no, none of them do.
Kermit, we find out that he has promised Piggy that there's a great surprise coming up, which turns out to be the annual Frog Festival and Bug Fry. And again, everybody hates that.
He is weirdly, uncharacteristically clueless about this, I think. I don't really understand. Like, he knows. He knows what this is.
That's why he didn't tell them. Yeah, he knew.
That's why he didn't tell them. Yeah.
So, this is on Kermit, really.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it is. But they get there and they meet Kermit's family, and then they all sing the first of the specialized many songs, all of which were written by Mark Radis. We should note. And the first one here is Knee Deep, sung by Kermit's family, all about how great it is eating bugs in the swamp.
And I think all these songs are great.
I think they're all great, and I think this one rules. I think this is such a great way. You don't like them?
Excellent. All right, now I get to be cranky.
Okay.
There we go. All right, this is my turn. I liked many of the songs, like some of the songs. But this is a weird way to begin a Kermit, like a Muppet Disney World special. It is completely randomly.
It takes about 8 minutes to actually get a glimpse of Disney World.
Yeah, and so they're in Paradise Swamp, and they've met all these like terrible southern annoying frogs, and there's bugs, and it's muddy, and then they sing a whole song about how great it is to like sit in the mud and eat bugs, which is like that's so. Thing is, I had a recurring nightmare that I think is based on this scene. That especially like I moved to San Francisco, like whatever it was, like 12 years ago. And there were a couple, which is now like, I'm now close to Disneyland, ish, closer than I used to be. But there was like a couple years before we actually went to Disneyland. And so I started having this recurring nightmare. So it might have started then, or it might have been earlier. I had it for a long time. That, like, I'm having a dream about whatever it is. It was always, like, a different dream. And then at a certain point, I would realize, like, oh, wait, but Disneyland is, like, right over there. Like, why haven't we been doing that this whole time? And I think it's based on this. It's like, wherever I happen to be. Yeah, I was like, I can't believe that we're sitting here in the mud right now. And Disneyland is right. I could walk to it, and I'm not there. Yeah. So this kind of scarred me in some way.
That's so also, fun. I mean, it makes sense, but
I'm just going to keep going on the song. Also, there is at least one line in here that I need to check with you guys. There's several of these weird songs have lyrics that don't make sense. The one I'm most concerned about right now is the dinosaurs.
Wait, can I guess? Yeah, that's what I was going to guess. The dinosaurs could have used some oars when they sank to the bottom of the bog.
Actually, my real concern is the next two lines. We don't sink in the fragrant stink because we broke old Newton's laws.
Yeah.
That's how I hear it. Is that how you guys hear it?
Yeah, that's it, I think. Yeah, frogs apparently can defy gravity.
Because they can
when
jump
they jump
super
in the mud,
high.
They don't sink. They just get to swim
because
around in the mud.
Because we broke old Newton's laws.
Yeah, the laws of gravity do not apply to them when they're swimming around in the mud.
This is what I'm saying. This is going to come up again.
Super high.
This is going to come up again in these songs of like just one line that just does not sit right with me.
Yeah, I can see that. But what I was going to say about this is, so after the song, then Kermit is like, we can watch the...
I was just going to say also about the song, I like that it's sort of thematically similar to the Chili Down song by the Fireys from Labyrinth. Because they're both basically just like these groups of characters talking about how great it is that their lives are like, they have no responsibilities and they just hang out all day. So that's fun. And then I like the staging of it where it feels like a later, like, last couple seasons of the Muppet Show number to me, where there's this sort of elaborate set and many, many Muppets on this sort of tiered set where there's things happening in the background, in the middle, and the foreground. So I just think it's fun.
They really did make a huge effort to like, and they all look real different. Like they have different kinds of clothes and and some of them have hair and it's definitely like, it's interesting looking for sure.
Oh wait, do any of them have ears?
I didn't notice any ears.
People were very concerned when we didn't talk about one of the frogs in Muppets Take Manhattan having ears. But I forgot to look for ears.
You know it was Bill, Ryan. You know it was Bill.
Okay, Bill. Oh, right. We talked about making a T-shirt that says Bill has ears.
Bill has ears.
Yeah.
No, but I do want to give a shout out to Kevin Clash as the deep-voiced frog. He's a tiny little guy, deep voice, and he says "knee deep" all the time. I think that's great. I think that's so charming.
I also like that the frogs that Kermit introduces are named Harry and Mary and Larry and Terry and Gary and Perry and Emmylou. That kind of joke, like the Muppets have done that before and after, but that always gets me.
Yeah. You love it.
Yeah,
that's Ryan.
They just did a joke like that on the new Fraggle Rock when the Murgle Queen is introducing the Murgle. She's like, this is Durgle and Flurgle and Burgle and Hergle and Larry, something like that. Yeah. It's a very similar joke.
Yeah.
And they introduced Bean Bunny.
Yes, Bean and Clifford are the characters who have survived the canceling of the Jim Henson Hour. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they're both here. We'll talk more about them. But after the song, Kermit says, we can watch the fireworks from Walt Disney World. And then everyone, which this is what I was going to say, Danny, is you and I disagree. You're like,
you would have stayed and eaten bugs.
Well, no, just here's what I'm saying is typical Disney Parks fans, right?
Yeah. Huh?
Bunch of jerks, like nothing real is important. Let's go to the shiny fake town and see what's happening over there. Our friend brought us to see his family traditions, and like, who cares? Let's go see what's going on in like shiny fake town.
Wow, this scene must really speak to you.
It strikes, like you talked about this being a strange beginning. It does strike such a sour tone for me, like genuinely.
Wow.
That it's like we're gonna go meet Kermit's family. Who cares about Kermit's family? It's awful.
Yeah, let's go visit something that we can totally go do, whatever. Yeah.
Even Fozzie, who's like, supposed to be Kermit's best friend, he says something like, Kermit, you're forcing us to choose between Walt Disney World and fried bugs. It's like this. It's not even a question, even for Kermit's best friend.
Right. That's what I mean.
Okay, but it is fried bugs, though.
Yeah, no, I don't want to eat fried bugs.
So
I just had them. No, but anyways, so then what happens? They go to Walt Disney World, of course.
Yes.
And when they get there, eventually we're going to see a bunch of characters pair off and wander around the park. But first they need to get in. And so they try to get in, and who's there? Security guard Charles Grodin.
Great.
Quentin Fitzwaller.
Quentin Fitzwaller, right. Charles Grodin as Quentin Fitzwaller. And he doesn't want to let them in. He tries to arrest Kermit and Robin. And while he's talking to them, Animal knocks over the turnstile and they all break in. That's when he tries to arrest them, I guess.
I like that Charles Grodin agreed to play a security guard in a Muppet TV special. I guess this is only like 2 years after Midnight Run, so I would think that he would still be considered something of a movie star. But
yeah, I mean, he was.
I'm just glad he didn't consider this beneath him.
It's a big role, though. I mean,
yeah, it's true.
And clearly
he's very funny here.
Yeah, and he likes the Muppets because he was in Great Muppet Caper.
Right, and has spoken fondly about it often.
Yeah,
right. And whereas Nikki Holiday in Great Muppet Caper was a what was it? A parasite.
Irresponsible parasite.
Yes. Quentin Fitzwaller is very responsible. Like, he's so committed to doing his job. So
not competent, but he's responsible.
No, true. Yeah.
Yes,
but a very different character.
So I have a couple thoughts about them breaking in. One of them is this is once again the standard Muppet story of starting from poverty and then ending up in the big front office, which they do in Muppet Movie. They do it in Great Muppet Caper, Muppets Take Manhattan. They get onto Broadway, and now here, once again, we have no money. We can't, we're all muddy because we're just in a swamp, and we have zero money. And then eventually they're going to end up in Lou Lord's office.
Yeah,
and
I was
Lou
thinking
Lord
about this
Mouse.
Right. Where on those ABC sitcoms, they usually come up with some reason, like there's on Full House. Uncle Jesse's band is playing a gig at Disney World, so it's like everyone else can come along. And on Family Matters, Steve Urkel is entering a science contest at Epcot, and it's like everyone else can come along. So they're all like, "Oh, here's a vacation that we're all going on." But this is
like we're busting in. This is an occupation, really,
completely by accident. And it just seems so appropriate for the Muppets.
Yeah,
right. Well, and it also Kermit keeps talking about how he doesn't have any money.
Right.
Through this entire thing.
Yeah.
Like, Kermit knows.
Like, I don't know.
Well, right. But I mean, like, he left his wallet in the swamp. But it comes up multiple times. It's not like they just bust in and then Kermit's like, whatever about it.
Well, that's because, I mean, Anthony, you were correct. Like, you go to a Disney park, your wallet is in your hand a lot. Like, that's not.
I know. Here's what I have in my notes.
That's not an unusual thing.
But here's what I have in my notes. Kermit keeps saying that he doesn't have any money. The subtext is that's why he's miserable in the park, because the only reason it exists is to suck you dry. So I know that.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
That's why I haven't paid the $2,000, Danny.
Kermit definitely feels like they don't belong there. Like, cause he's also sort of the whole time he's wanting to kind of round up the gang and get out of there to go back to the bug fight. Cause he just feels like they do not belong in this theme park.
Right. and he also wants to see his family.
Yes, that's
Like, that's what I mean. Like, that's what it's such a strange framing device.
Screw
Like,
the
genuinely, it's so strange.
So another thing is that there are 3 parks within the Walt Disney World Resort at this time. Like, now there's 4. But in 1990, there were 3. There's Magic Kingdom, which was built in 1971. There's Epcot, which is 1982. And then MGM Studios in 1989. And so that was really new and exciting for this special. Like, that had just opened the previous year.
Yeah, I figured that's probably why they start there, right?
Yeah.
Because this is the new
Right,
park
so they
want everybody to know about.
Yeah, so the turnstiles now are in, like, this is the front of MGM Studios. And so throughout the special, they're going to hop from one park to the other without saying that that's what they do.
Park hopping passes. They just teleport instantaneously.
Teleport, yeah. I was going to say they don't have passes, so.
Well, and
they just broke in.
And that's actually, yeah, so in Disneyland, like, it's actually easy. Like, there's 2 at that resort as well. There's Disneyland, and then there's Disney's California Adventure, but it's basically just like there's a plaza and one is on one side, the other, you can very easily walk back and forth between them. But at Walt Disney World, they're a lot farther away. There's like swampland, and you have to like take a tram or take like a monorail or something. Like, it's a journey to hop from like Epcot to MGM Studios. And so the Muppets are, as you say, they're teleporting. Like,
yeah, they just do it effortlessly. They'll be in one park in one scene and another park in the next scene.
Yeah.
They do not
that is my
follow much like the frogs not obeying Newton's law, the Muppets have they do not obey the laws of time and space.
That is exactly correct.
Right. So
actually, I had another thing I wanted to mention. Yeah. When we first see these glamour shots of all 3 parks, there's a music cue that plays, which starts out as When You Wish Upon a Star. Yeah. So it's like, okay, Disney. And then it briefly segues into Being Green. So it's like, it's Muppets. Yeah. Muppets are in the studio. Yeah. But then it segues back into When You Wish Upon a Star to finish. So it's very much like Disney sort of imposing, like, okay, Muppets are here, but we're still going to be, they're going to be surrounded by Disney at all times.
Right. So once they all get into the park, we kind of they split off into these mostly pairings of characters. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to kind of go through each one in order, the order that we first see them. I'm not going to bounce back and forth between the storylines, but because they mostly just kind of do variations on the same joke. And the most emblematic of these, I think, is Bunsen and Beaker, whose storyline started back at the swamp, which is that Beaker gets a bucket on his head. And every time we see Bunsen and Beaker, and again, this is all fun stuff. I'm not knocking it, but every time we see Bunsen and Beaker, it is
a joke about the bucket on Beaker's head.
It's just Beaker has a bucket on his head. Yeah. Something happens, you know?
And can they get the bucket off of his head?
Right. So it's like Bunsen draws a face on it. Bunsen gives him a wig and sunglasses, which is great. Mm-hmm. That's such a great visual. The Swedish chef works at the park, I guess. And all the Muppets are just running in and exploring the park and having a great time. But the Swedish chef is really showing a lot of entrepreneurial initiative by opening his own little small business in a World Showcase at Epcot. He opens a taco stand.
Yeah, there's no Sweden pavilion.
A Swedish taco stand.
Right, Svenska
tacos. It says Svenska tacos,
yeah.
With chili and lukefish.
There's no Sweden pavilion in World Showcase, but he kind of creates his own, which is, it's admirable. Right.
Yeah. Hey, do you know what we call those at the Minnesota State Fair, Ryan? Do you know what we call them?
Svenska tacos? I have no idea.
You know what we call them? Ufta tacos.
Do you really? I was going to say that, and then I thought, that's a dumb joke. But I decided not to, but I should have said it.
100% true. There is a stand at the Minnesota State Fair called Ufta Tacos.
Okay, so now explain Ufta to our listeners.
Okay, so Ufta is a very Scandinavian American expression. I don't know that it's actually Norwegian or actually Swedish, but it's very Scandinavian American, and it basically means "oh wow" or "oh my goodness" or "I am overwhelmed." Right? Something goes wrong, you just say "oh Ufta."
Like you're exasperated.
You're exasperated. And I got Ryan a refrigerator magnet that said Ufta on it 15 years ago.
Many years ago, and I still have it, yes.
But anyways, so the Swedish chef is selling tacos, and he gives Beaker his hottest sauce and it makes Beaker's bucket fly off of his head because it's so hot. And then, of course, it lands right back on his head.
I love the gag of the chef explaining how hot each of the sauces is when he picks up the mild and he's like, this one,
wimpy,
ooh, and then the medium is like, ooh, and then the hot one is like Hotska Totska, and he throws it from hand to hand because it's so hot he can't even hold on to it.
Yeah,
right. You know what I love about that scene? The way very enthusiastic way that Bunsen says, "My friend here would like one of your fine tacos, please."
Oh yes, tacos.
Well, my friend here would like one of your fine tacos, please.
It's so good. It's like it's such a funny line reading.
That's funny.
But yeah, so that's all
that
we
being
see Bunsen
said,
and Beaker do.
That being said, the bucket on Beaker's head, I don't find amusing.
Oh no,
that's one of the. I love
the fact that he still has it at the very end of the special. Like even when it's presumably hours later, he still just has it stuck on his head.
It doesn't come off.
Never,
But I do think that in general, the fact that they spend a lot of time doing variations on the same jokes.
Yeah.
Is why I don't like this quite as much as Muppet Family Christmas, where it's always something new, you know?
Yeah. That's true.
I mean, I do like this special quite a lot. I know I've been complaining about Walt Disney World or whatever, but it's a funny Muppet special that I enjoy, you know?
Yeah, I guess they're going to different locations in the parks, but you're right. They're still doing similar gags repeatedly.
Yeah.
Right.
And there is something I might as well talk about this here. There's something weird about this special that I can't quite figure out. They don't really fully engage with the Disney parks. They spend a lot of time doing other stuff. So like it starts with like the swamp and like we have to be concerned about the swamp for a while. Like they don't go to a lot of like the most obvious like Disney-ish things. They don't go to Fantasyland. They don't go to Adventureland. They don't go to Frontierland. Like they spend zero time talking about any of that stuff.
Well, I wonder if some of that is that it's just hard to shoot Muppets going on rides, which is why we only see that a few times.
But they don't even like engage with characters. Like you would think that Pinocchio there'd be something in there, like Peter Pan. They engage with like Star Tours and Indiana Jones very much. And then there's one character family that they're allowed to interact with, which is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Right.
And the Country
Bears
that, at the end.
And I guess in the Country Bears a little bit. But besides that, they don't really like. There's a lot of stuff that's kind of like that bucket stuff could happen anywhere.
That's true.
The taco thing could happen anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, Gonzo
spends a lot of time in the laundry.
Oh, I love that.
Joke
Ralph goes. Ralph goes into another space. I'm just thinking it is weird to me. Like there is, for me at least, like this sense of there's some distance between the Muppets and like the Disney stuff. It's like they're almost trying to stay away from the most Disney-ish Disney stuff. Yeah,
and Gonzo's and Ralph's arcs or whatever they are, they both take place in places that a guest visiting Disney World would not actually go to.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's sort of like a little bit of rebellion on the Muppet, on the part of the Muppet people. Like, okay, we'll do this thing that's basically an hour-long commercial for your parks, but we're going to do it our way.
And we're going to do like Kermit is going to sing us. They're going to sing Rainbow Connection like with Cinderella Castle in the background, and like Fozzie's going to do a stand-up special like with the Mark Twain Riverboat in the background.
Right.
But we're not going to go on the Mark Twain Riverboat.
Yeah. Like I'm thinking about Bunsen and Beaker when we see them one of the first times they're in Epcot in the Future World section.
Mm-hmm. Which you think would be right up their alley.
Right. You would think
there's actually like Innoventions
World.
That actually should be where they spend all the time.
And it's funny, I wanted to mention this. I think that one of those shots in the background, you can see like the space between the two Innoventions buildings, which is where, I don't know if they're doing this currently, but I don't think so.
Oh yeah, the Bunsen Beaker, the
Muppet Mobile Labs thing used to come out, which is like this, is it remote controlled? It's like this thing with an animatronic Bunsen and Beaker who interact with an audience. And
where it's remote, where like there's puppeteers kind of in the distance somewhere
Right,
that
they can
nobody's
obviously
looking
see
at,
the
who are
crowd
like,
because they interact with guests. But
who are like doing the voice and using puppet.
Yeah, so that's pretty much the same location.
Yeah. But they don't. So anyway, I just think that's I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
Right. No, I agree. So let's talk about what those storylines where they don't interact with Disney IP very much. Let's talk about what those are. Fozzie and his mom are out there and they don't have money for lunch because again, nobody has any money. This is a special about how you can have fun at the Disney parks without money.
No, you can just break in. Yeah, it's
fine.
You
can break in.
Everything will go just fine for you if you break into a Disney park.
But you can't.
You don't have to pay $109 a day for a one-day pass. You can just go in.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine.
Ugh.
Everything will turn out okay. Fozzie and his ma, their primary goal is to get food.
Right. And so Fozzie's mom, Ma, Emily Bear, whatever you want to call her, she pressures Fozzie into doing a comedy act to try to raise money, just like on the thoroughfare. Mm-hmm. And what I love is that she's introducing him and she does the da-da-da-da-da-da music from the Muppet Show.
That's good stuff.
But yeah, then we just see like the crowd is indifferent and every once in a while we cut back and the crowd is still indifferent. And
I like when she passes the hat or attempts to, and she says, "Put some money in the hat, folks. A little money for some honey."
Some funny. Is it some honey? I thought it was some funny.
I played it back a few times. I think she says honey because she had previously
she wants the
said
honey sandwich. Yeah,
that she wants a honey sandwich, which sounds like not a very good meal to me. I don't think that would be satisfying.
Right. You're not a bear.
But maybe I'm not a bear. Yeah, exactly.
You're not a bear. Yeah. But yeah, so we see this a few times.
The first time Fozzie is rejected by the crowd, I think a lot of the extras in this are just people who happen to be at Disney World. Like they have to be because they seem so awkward and like not professional actors. So the first time we see Fozzie get rejected by the audience, there's this one kid who, as he's walking away, he does this hand gesture, like kind of waving his hand, get out of here. And then as he continues to walk away, he does that 3 more times.
Like, oh, really?
Okay, we get it, kid. Like you don't like Fozzie's act. Yeah,
he doesn't like Fozzie.
Yeah, and then the next time we see the audience who's bored by Fozzie's act, it's this family of 5, and all of I think there's 2 or 3 boys and a dad, and they're all wearing very similar blue tank tops, which is, I had never noticed before, but this is the kind of thing that you notice when you pause and go back a lot to do a podcast. And also the entire family appears to have mullets. I would need to see a better resolution. Yeah, I need to see a better resolution version of this to be sure, but it looks like all 5 of them have mullet haircuts.
I am surprised that it never occurred to me to examine those people.
Yeah,
I'm shocked. I'm shocked at my own lack of professionalism.
Yeah, you got to do it.
Yeah. So something that is funny here is like, again, yes, they broke in, and now Fozzie's panhandling. Like, this is not a thing you can do. Walt Disney World.
I mean, I guess people might think, they might assume that
for
he's
Fozzie,
just
they
a
would think
performer.
He's part of the act. Yeah,
yeah, they might think he's one of the performers who's employed by the park. But
they think he's Winnie the Pooh.
Could be.
Yeah. But in speaking of celebrity bears, Kermit, this line is resolved when Kermit shows up and helps Fozzie find his audience, which is of course the Country Bears. Yeah. From the Christopher Walken movie of the same name.
Oh no, Country Bear Hall has been destroyed.
Okay, we'll talk about this plenty later, but I'm so excited for our season about Muppets 2011 when we get to talk about how it's the same movie as the Country Bears movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know that, Danny? It's exactly the same plot.
I didn't know. I haven't seen the Country Bears movie.
The Country Bears movie is about a bear child who's raised by a human family and loves the Country Bears. And I'm serious. This is all true. Yeah. Loves the Country Bears, wants to get them reunited because that's like the only thing he's ever felt like he fits in with. So he's going to reunite them. They're going to have a big concert at Country Bear Hall, but evil real estate developer Christopher Walken wants to destroy Country Bear Hall. That's the plot of that movie. Okay. Came out 9 years before Muppets 2011.
And they travel around and pick up each member of the band one by one.
And it has like a bunch of celebrity cameos and stuff, like a Muppet movie. It's wild. Yeah.
I do want to note that I think there are 5 bears that show up and appreciate Fozzie's comedy, but actually only 2 of them are Country Bear Jamboree characters.
I was wondering about that. I tried to figure it out and couldn't.
Yeah, it's Brer Bear, who's
I know that one.
from
Yeah.
the movie Song of the South,
sure.
which is, a band or whatever.
Yeah.
And also the
he's
ride
from Splash Mountain.
Splash Mountain is what most people probably know him from now. There's also Wendell and Liverlips.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are from the Country Bear Jamboree. Wendell is the shorter one with the scarf, and Liverlips is the tall guy.
And then there's the 2 girl bears.
Well, so it's Bongo Bear and Lulu Bell, who are from a segment from the movie Fun and Fancy Free. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know who Bongo is. I did not recognize them.
Right.
That's so funny.
Me too. I wouldn't have recognized Bongo in costume form.
Who does? But where did they get a costume for Bongo and Lulu Bell?
That's what I don't understand is why did they bother to make costumes of Bongo Bear and Lulu Bell? But I guess I don't know. In 1990, there weren't, there was no Frozen yet. There was no Tangled yet. A lot of these things, they
dug really deep.
Beloved properties didn't exist yet, so they had to dig a little deeper.
They had to go to Fun and Fancy Free. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
They had like Ichabod Crane and...
Oh, I hope so. Yeah. I hope there was a whale who wanted to sing at the Met costume at some point. That would be great.
Yeah.
It's like a walk around.
Yeah.
A really, really big walk around.
Whale.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I could meet Casey at the Bat.
Yeah.
At Walt Disney World, I'd be there, man. Like, just take who's ever playing Gaston, put him in a baseball uniform.
Yeah.
There's your Casey at the Bat.
Yeah. Perfect.
Right. So that's Fozzie.
Yeah.
The next one technically that starts is Scooter and Bean, but Scooter and Bean do not have a story in this. Like,
what do they do?
Bean
there's
does some. They go to a fountain and there's 2 shots of Bean doing something cute and Scooter being like, cute, am I right? Which is charming, but it's not. I feel like there should have been. I would have liked to have seen more of them together.
Yeah, I guess there's so many characters that there just wasn't a lot of time. But it is an interesting pairing. Like, I wouldn't have. It doesn't seem like an obvious thing to pair up Scooter with Bean Bunny, but it is interesting, and I would have liked to have seen more of it.
Yeah.
The first time we see them is at the jumping. I don't know if there's another name for this, but the jumping fountains at Epcot, which is this thing where it looks like the water is leaping from one pad to another, and then Bean is playing tennis with them.
Yeah,
so
or ping pong.
That's cute. I think those are still there. Those are really cool. That's like a thing that people always take photos and videos with.
And Bean, so the funny thing is that like Bean Bunny, if you didn't watch Jim Henson Hour, and nobody did, then you didn't know who he was.
Right.
But he was actually about to, like, the reason why he's in this special is he's one of the stars of Muppet Vision 3D.
The plot of that is all kind of centered around him.
It's very Bean centered. And that didn't open until a year later. Muppet Vision 3D opened at Disney World May 16th, 1991, which was a year after Henson died. It was like that anniversary. And therefore like a year after the show. So nobody knew who Bean was at the time.
Right. And they do have Scooter for that reason. Scooter explains to all the frogs at the beginning that they hired Bean to be cute, so the rest of them don't have to because they were all tired of being cute. Like, he says it with such disgust. Like, Scooter is so disgusted by the concept of being
cuteness.
Cute. Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what sells it, I think, is that Richard Hunt is really invested in the idea. So the next storyline then is Gonzo and Camilla, who Gonzo wants to take Camilla to see some lesser known offbeat attractions. And like you said, Danny, these are not attractions. These are like the used paper cup exhibit and stick their head in a garbage can.
Yeah, well, he starts out asking her if she wants to go to the Wonders of Life Pavilion or the ocean thing.
Yeah. Now I have to say, I have some thoughts about Epcot. I have some Anthony style thoughts about Epcot. I have not been to Epcot since 1999 by choice. But so it may have changed somewhat. At the time in 1999 when I went, it was a concrete parking lot punctuated with boring.
Okay, here's the thing about that. Epcot is my favorite of the Disney parks because of all the boring stuff. I love the boring stuff. I love taking a slow-moving half-hour ride that teaches me about energy.
but does.
Like, give me more of that
Yeah.
stuff. I'm sad that they tore that ride down.
Is that a real thing?
That was the universe of energy. It was
Epcot
like
is
people
just-
talked
it's
about
the
that as like,
most-
if you are tired and you want to go in an air conditioned place and take a nap, go on Universe of Energy.
You paid $2,000 for that?
that among many other things, yes.
Yeah.
Wild.
Epcot seriously, like, you know that ball, like that silver ball that you see? Like
Spaceship
that's
Earth.
Yeah,
Spaceship Earth.
My whole life until like 5 years ago, I thought that's what Epcot was.
It is.
I remember having that conversation.
No,
with
I thought
you,
that was
actually.
only like I thought that was the name of the ball was Epcot.
Yeah.
It might as well be because like it's the perfect symbol for Epcot because it's recognizable and distinctive without being either beautiful or interesting.
See, yeah, I disagree. I think
So
I think Spaceship Earth is so like, so cool looking, and the ride inside it, I would not argue with anyone who wants to say that Spaceship Earth is boring, but I love it. It's a slow moving ride through the history of human communication technology. What could be better than that?
And they have, and so there's also the World Showcase, which we see later on with the mayhem and like the best part of the special. The World Showcase is like, I think Ryan, you told me like you love World's Fairs, right? Do I remember that from the from the Muppets Take Manhattan episode? You revealed to me that you're super into World's Fairs. That World Showcase is supposed to be like this permanent World's Fair. Where there's like a pavilions for like Japan and China and Sweden and Mexico and who knows what else. And the thing is about World's Fairs, they're super World's Fairs. Do they have them anymore, by the way? I don't think anyone does this.
There has not been one in America since 1984 in New Orleans, but they still do them in other countries.
Oh, yeah?
We just like America is too arrogant or dumb or whatever to participate anymore.
But they used to be a huge thing because like you would set it up and it would be the newest stuff in the world. Like everybody would come and show like all the new technology and inventions and things they were making. And
which is also kind of the concept of the original concept of Future World at Epcot. So like the whole park of Epcot is very World's Fairy.
But they didn't like, they don't tear it all down and set it up again every 2 years. So like it's not like it just, they set it up once and then it just gets older and shabbier over time. It's like the worst possible World's Fair. So there's that, and then I have one more little Epcot story, which is that when I went, there's like the Home of the Future, where you walk around and they show you like inventions and things that's going to happen. The one thing I remember is they had a touchscreen coffee table, where like you could play with it, and it was like a map, like an interactive map, so you could get like driving directions like from your coffee table. It did not impress me at the time, and it's like, and like now touchscreens are everywhere in our lives.
Yeah, but you said this was what, 1999?
Yeah, but in all this time, like they say, this is all the stuff that's going to be in your house. In all this time, no one ever has thought to put a touchscreen on a coffee table. It would not occur to a human being. That is the least convenient place for a touchscreen to be.
No, that's true. But my oven has a touchscreen and my refrigerator has a touchscreen. So I think I'll still give it to them.
Which I did not see at Epcot. They promised me.
They
just a touchscreen coffee table.
General idea, but they got the specifics wrong.
Where like the only thing that you could do is freak out when somebody tries to put their drink down on it, and that's about the only use for it. Anyway, so those are my Epcot stories. Those are my fantastic Epcot stories. I'm really glad that you, Ryan, that you like it so much. And as far as you're concerned,
but I'm so sad though, because they keep like getting rid of all the stuff that to me is interesting and different than all the other theme parks, and they just are replacing everything with thrill rides and things that are just like based on the Disney movie that came out 2 years ago, or this, the Marvel thing or whatever.
See, that makes me want to go back.
To me, it's becoming less and less interesting because it's just becoming like every other theme park. Whereas I love the version of Epcot that's like, let's look ahead to the future and let's understand everyone all around the world. And now it's just like, let's build a Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster, which is just not the same.
See, I want to go to that Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster. But
you
know what, Ryan? You know what? You've given us all a lot to think about.
Thank you. But the Wonders of Life
I
Pavilion,
told you that would
wanted to
work,
say.
right?
Yes.
I told you I had that handled.
The Wonders of Life Pavilion is not there anymore, but when it was, it had an attraction called Cranium Command, which was like, it was like a film that you were looking through the eyes of an adolescent boy, and then on the sides there were all these other screens that had celebrities playing like different aspects of his body and his brain. So it's worth noting that Charles Grodin played the kid's left brain in that film. John
Quentin
Lovitz played his
Fitzwaller.
right brain. Yes,
Quentin
Quentin
Fitzwaller. It was
himself.
the name of the white. Well, the name was the name of the left brain.
Yes, exactly. Also, that's the Wonders of Life Pavilion is where I first learned that cheese is high in saturated fat.
That's a good point. That's a
Yeah,
good
okay.
point. I can't.
There was a little
Wow.
kiosk where you would enter, like, it would ask you questions about your diet, and then it would tell you what was good and bad about the way that you were eating.
Dang.
I learned that in health class in seventh
It's like my
grade.
mom.
Oh, I'm sure you did. I just probably wasn't paying attention that day.
Didn't even have to pay $2,000. So
you know,
what
you
else?
know what?
happens
Like
in
this, as usual with the three of us, especially talking about an hour-long special. Like this is going so long.
Oh, yeah.
No,
and
I
we
know. I was
100%. We adore all of the people who are listening to it, but like so much of this is the three of us bickering. I kind of wonder if at this point, like, if the listener should be like wagering on like who wins this round, who comes out on top.
Wait, but how do we,
That's what I want.
What determines who the winner is?
I don't know. We might find
Like,
out though.
The person who keeps talking after everyone else has stopped talking.
Well, we've all taken
right.
that crown.
Yeah.
We take that one. in
All
turns.
right.
All right, you're
So
moving
there's
on.
about-
Anthony's moving on.
There's about 8 storylines in this thing, and we've talked about
There's
2
so
of
many
them.
more things.
Great.
Yeah.
But Gonzo
hardly
and
even done
Camilla
that.
don't. Gonzo and Camilla don't go to any of that stuff you just said.
Yeah. No, I know.
Like
They hang around
none
in the sewer.
of that. Whatever you just said, none of it happens. What does happen is that they go to the laundromat where they sing Gonzo sings the song "Love in a Laundromat,"
Yeah.
which is a delight. Love it.
Yes. It's a very cute song.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, when we met Dave Goles in 2011, this is my aside. When we met Dave Goles in 2011, Roz made a point of telling him how much she loves Love in a Laundromat.
Oh.
And he seemed delighted. Like his immediate response was, "You know that song?"
Oh.
And she just was like, "Yeah, I love that," And he like said, "Oh, that with that special was so much fun. Mark Radis wrote the songs. He's such a nice guy. Haven't talked to him in a while, whatever." But yeah, so when my wife met Dave Goles, the one thing she made sure to mention was "Love in a Laundromat." So
Yeah.
Oh, that makes
that's
me
great.
like this song more. All right.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about any of Mark Radis's other credits, but I did just want to mention that he's written a bunch of great songs for Sesame Street, and
Yes.
also he wrote the music just keeps on rolling along for the Jim Henson Hour.
which rules, which is
I
great
love
too.
that
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he's talented.
I do like it.
Yeah. And I don't know if there's really much else to say about Gonzo and Camilla in the laundromat. It's charming.
Well,
I love it.
Yeah, in
song,
the number, they are like sitting on top of a cart that's just stuffed with laundry, and then they go up a conveyor belt, and then they're like inside a bag that's being suspended from the ceiling, which I guess that means Dave Goles and Jerry Nelson are stuffed inside all of those places
Yes.
with their arms
Right.
up. So just like, again, the crazy things that Muppet performers have to do. And I noticed that Camilla says 2
She says
words
Gonzo.
in this special. Yeah,
Says
when he's
Gonzo, yeah.
commenting on the grungy sewer pipes or something, she says grungy.
Oh, Camilla, isn't this just keen? If we hadn't taken that unmarked stairway next to the broom closet, we might have missed this whole grungy tunnel exhibit.
Grungy.
And then during the song, she says Gonzo.
I can't deny it was love at first cycle, tossing and turning around here with you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
chickens can talk. Muppet chickens can talk sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. But you know who can talk all the time? Miss Piggy, because our next
Sure can.
storyline is that Miss Piggy and her personal assistant Beauregard, inexplicably but delightfully,
It works.
she wants to go to the Chinese theater. That's all she wants.
Mhm.
And he keeps taking her on thrill rides. And so they go on, let me say, they go on Star Wars ride. They go on Mountain Time Jamboree. They go on teacup spinning. They go on, I think, one more. Or is that it? Is that it?
I think it's it. Yes.
Yeah. So they
otherwise
go on
known as Big Thunder Mountain.
Sure.
And Star Tours.
Star Tours sounds like an off-brand, sounds like an action figure my grandma bought me at the grocery store, but go on.
Yes.
Well, the premise of the ride is that you are in the Star Wars universe, and Star Tours is like an airline, essentially.
That's
gonna
fun.
Take you to another planet.
That's good, yeah.
Really
anyways, but my point is they do all three of those, and all three of them go exactly like this. They go on the ride, and we see Piggy, like, eyes bugging
Screaming.
out, going, "Wah!" And then they get off, and Beauregard says, "Wasn't that great?" And Piggy's like, "I want to go to the Chinese theater." That happens 3 times.
And he says, "Oh, no, let's go this way." Beauregard is like a criminal mastermind in this.
Yeah, he's smarter than we give him
I
credit
love
for.
Beauregard. Is this the last time that we actually see Beauregard do anything like up until the 2011 movie?
Yeah, I mean, he had he is in the Sandra Bullock episode of Muppets Tonight, for example.
Oh yeah,
but it's
okay.
just it's just like she's
For
doing
about a
her
second.
one-man band at the end, and
he
Beauregard's
gives her the
sweeping
keys
up, or whatever.
Yeah.
Does he have a line?
He says something like,
believe
Sandra, here are the keys. When
Okay.
you're done here, can you lock up? Something like that.
Yeah, but you're right though. It's like when Jim died and Richard died, and like all of a sudden it's like the Steve and Dave show
Yeah.
Right.
in the 90s. It's ridiculous that Beauregard wasn't used all the time.
Yeah.
Well, he was spending more time playing Gonzo. So
yeah.
I suppose so, but I mean, like he's playing Andy or Randy Pig all the time. Like,
no, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like,
I don't
Yeah,
know.
Beauregard,
to me,
like,
Bill the Bubble Guy. Give me
to me,
Beauregard.
the weird
instead
one
of
is
Bill
that
the
they didn't
Bubble
use
Guy.
Floyd more when Jerry Nelson was right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because Floyd
yeah,
kind of
same.
disappears during that time period
Yeah.
too.
But
Right.
Beauregard
And I mean,
had he been in anything from last I recall is like, I mean, obviously in the Muppet Show, and then he has a moment in Muppets Go to the Movies.
No, well, there'll be lots of snow for him to shovel tomorrow in Muppet Family Christmas.
Oh, is he in it? Does he have a line?
Yeah, he says there'll be lots of snow for me to shovel
okay.
tomorrow.
Very well.
And of course, he has a fairly a sizable supporting role in Great Muppet Caper.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, is he
And then
in the
he's-
Muppets Celebrate Jim Henson, or does he not speak in that?
I don't remember. It's been such a long time since I've seen it.
Yeah.
Which,
But, like,
as we've
clearly-
discussed,
Just like wouldn't fit in Muppet Save Manhattan, so it totally makes sense. Like there's no role for him
Right.
there.
right. Well, apparently he was in that scene with Bunsen and Beaker in the Electric Mayhem that got cut.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
which they cut. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, he is visible
in
at the end, but
Philadelphia.
he doesn't really get to do anything.
But this is a big, like, kind of post Caper. This is his biggest thing that he ever gets to do. Ever.
Yeah, by far.
Yeah, that's true. I was wondering how they did the shots where they're actually on the rides,
Yeah.
because it seems dangerous to be a puppeteer and like crouching down in a roller coaster and sticking your arm up. And
Yeah.
like, how would they do that? So I actually tweeted at Frank Oz. I did not get a response from that, but a previous podcast guest, Max Jessup, pointed me in the direction of an interview that Dave Goelz did in 2020. It was a virtual event for the website laughingplace.com, where he actually talked about how Jim Henson and Frank Oz both had motion sickness. So Frank did not want to do these shots. So when you see Piggy, that's actually Dave performing Piggy on these rides.
So he's performing both of them?
Well, so then I was wondering, like, so who's Beauregard? And then I went back and looked at all of them. I think Beauregard might just be, like, empty in those shots. I think Beauregard might be just kind of, like, set up and no one's actually performing him, because he's kind of just staring ahead, lifeless in all those shots, which kind of works for Beauregard.
Which makes sense on a thrill ride, too, though.
And Piggy's the one
He's
who's
like
being
white
funny,
knuckle.
and she's the one that you'd be looking at.
Right. Our attention is drawn to Piggy because she's screaming and her eyes are wide open and all that. So, yeah. But she's not having a good time. And then at the end of one of them, she shows him what's going to happen to him if he does it again, and she karate chops a lamppost and it falls down. So, yeah, Piggy is threatening to kill Beauregard if he does that again.
Yeah, which is hilarious. I love that.
Yeah, it's great.
The thing that most impresses me about it is that those rides, like, it takes a while to get on those rides. Like, Beauregard somehow manages to get Miss Piggy, like, still dazed onto Star Tours, which should take, like, an hour to get her on that ride. She would have to go through a whole pre-show, all kinds of things. So he must be going in, like, the single rider line or something.
I guess so. And especially with Big Thunder Mountain, because that's the first one. Did Piggy not notice, like, all the other people riding ahead of them who are screaming and going
all of a
on
sudden,
really fast, right? Like, she just wasn't paying attention, I guess. I guess she was distracted thinking about the Chinese theater.
She was signing autographs.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So our next featured character is Rolf, who his scene is kind of just like 2 moments.
Yeah.
But one of them is a song. So he gets captured by a dog catcher and thrown into the pet care center. So this is what Danny was talking about. It's another thing that's not an attraction.
Yeah.
It's just the pet care center. But so he's not on a Disney ride, but you know what he is doing? He is joined by a dang old all-star team of Muppet Dogs.
All the Muppet Dogs.
He's who's in here? Baskerville, Sprocket, Foo-Foo, Bugsy Them, ACU, the Afghan Hound, like
Muppy.
Muppy, dozens and dozens more. Like,
yeah.
Right? And
most of the cast of Dog City for sure, which is great.
Yeah, a ton of the Dog City.
Although
puppets,
the funny thing about that is, like, because they have so many dog puppets from Dog City with those clothes on, like, that's a very Dog City is a very specific look.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's like Chicago in the 20s, and so this, like, happy, like, Disney World pet care has, like, a whole area with, like, tough-looking dogs in tough-looking outfits, like, playing poker.
Well, they're playing poker, which is great. And like, playing pool.
Playing pool. Like, it's a very crime-oriented pet care center, it feels like to me.
Yeah, I love it. And then they all sing I'm Dogging It, which is another fun song that I don't have much to say about, but I enjoy.
It is fun, but it does not make sense.
Who cares? What do you mean?
Are you going to say that it doesn't make sense when they say, look at that dog, oh man, got the shoe bop, and a bam, shoe bam?
I don't have a problem with that line. The line I have a problem with is, I've got a brand new phone to call my own, and all my bills are paid. I'm so glad I stayed. I'm dogging it.
Is that what it is? I've got a brand new phone?
I've got a brand new phone to call my own, and all my bills are paid. I'm so glad I stayed. I'm dogging it.
Because they
explain if you can.
I think it just means that they're like,
can't be done.
Okay, but can I take a shot at it?
Please.
I think it just means that the pet care center is a hotel and everything's taken care of. Like, genuinely.
All right.
Like,
okay.
He's so glad he stayed here in the pet care center where everything is taken care of for him.
And where he's dogging
That's what they're saying, right?
And I was thinking, I was thinking this place looks really nice for a kennel, but then I thought, well, of course it's Disney World, so I'm sure the pet care center is really nice. I don't know what they actually had in 1990, but today Disney World has something called Best Friends Pet Care, and depending on how much money you spend, your dog can enjoy amenities including regular walks, a play group, bottled water, bedtime stories, ice cream breaks, and a private flat screen TV.
And a brand new phone to call his own.
Brand new phone to call his own.
To call his own. Yeah.
Yeah, Anthony, you nailed it. I can't dispute that anymore. Its own plasma TV?
Like they have private rooms for the dogs.
Its own flat screen TV.
I don't know. Some dogs like watching TV as long as there's like a bird flying around on the screen or something. I didn't really. I think cats have their own set of amenities, but I didn't really look that up.
Yeah.
So we can all agree that this place should be burned to the ground, right? Like this is not awful. All right.
Wouldn't you want your dog? Wouldn't you want your dog to have bedtime stories and ice cream breaks?
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
How would you know?
I don't have
how good the bedtime stories are.
That's the other thing is some of them have like some of the packages have basically like a webcam where you can check in to see what your dog is doing live to make sure that they're giving them the right flavor of ice cream or whatever.
And tucking them in with the bedtime story.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, next one is Statler and Waldorf, who really just get one scene, but it's that they can't find anything to complain about. at Walt Disney World.
And that's what they hate about it.
Yeah.
So that's what they hate about it. It's so good.
It's so
worth
clean.
every 0 cents they paid for. Why were they on vacation with Kermit?
Right,
In the
we
first
don't
place.
see
Well,
them.
they weren't.
They're not with the Muppets. They just happen to be at
So
Disney World
they
that
just
same
at
day.
the park. Yeah, right. But so what they do is they sing the old standard "Who's Your Lady Friend" to a human old woman who seems positively delighted to be serenaded by Statler
she's
and Walt.
lovely.
Again, I think this is just a normal person who was at Disney World that
Feels
day.
like it,
and
right?
She
It does.
really just seems like she's just a regular person. She's so happy to be serenaded by these puppets.
Yeah,
And a little
It's
bit
great. It's really
dazed.
charming.
Like,
I think so.
it's hard. Like,
It would be overwhelming.
she's hard to read. This lady.
Oh, she's smiling the whole time.
No,
isn't
she is, but like, I don't know. Yeah, I get a weird. I think she's delightful,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Um,
I don't know how they
this-
achieved it.
Most of this takes place on Main Street, which is like the old-fashioned small town section of Disney World, which is, fitting for Statler and Waldorf. And the only other thing I have to say about Main Street is that there is a barbershop there. And when my wife and previous podcast guest, Stacy, went to Disney World on our honeymoon, she got her haircut on Main Street.
How'd
And
it
it was
look?
pretty
is that
good
right?
haircut. So,
There's a real barbershop there.
Yeah.
Get bedtime stories.
They didn't offer it. We didn't ask though, so it might be an option.
Oh, that's so good. So then the last like middle storyline here before it all starts to come together is that the Electric Mayhem visit World Showcase, I believe.
Yes.
And what I love about the Electric Mayhem here is that it includes Clifford but not Lips. Like we can talk about Clifford.
No, Lips
joining
shows
the
up.
Oh,
team.
Lips does pop up though, but you're right.
Oh, he does.
When the whole gang is like riding a bus around World Showcase, Lips isn't
is
there,
not
but
there.
then he pops up for the musical number.
There's
later.
Okay,
one.
that's
yeah,
weird.
it was-
He's in like one shot where like all of a sudden
It's
he's
so
there and
funny.
he goes like do, and then I think
Yeah,
he might
okay.
disappear
Huh.
again. Yeah,
A
they
very
just have,
brief
like, a
trumpet
magic
solo.
nobody cares about.
magically appearing Lips. Yeah. Nope,
Yeah.
And then he
genuinely
disappeared,
nobody
not to be
cares
seen
about
again
Lips.
for years.
Yeah,
Um.
but that is the best part of the special. I feel
Yeah, I
the-
probably agree.
that is
So
once again, like in Muppet Family Christmas, like you put an Electric Mayhem about halfway through the show, it is awesome. It brings the house down.
yeah. So what happens is they're touring and they're on the World Showcase tour, and Dr. Teeth says, "What do rock musicians want to do more than anything in the world?" And Animal yells, "I know, I know." And Dr. Teeth says, "Besides that," and then Floyd says, "Besides that, a world tour."
Very good.
I love that.
Yeah,
So good, perfect. It's like the perfect adult Electric
Yeah,
Mayhem joke
that's
that
lovely.
is funny if you get
Yeah.
it, and
In
like
Disney
my
World,
3-year-old had no idea,
And it means
you know?
nothing if you don't get it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just like all the dialogue in this scene.
Yeah.
Dr. T says, "Wait a second. A thought has just cerebral cortexed into my cranium." And Floyd says, "Uh-oh, the good doctor has an idea." It's like,
That's great.
Beautiful.
this is sadly the last time we saw the original lineup of
Yeah,
performers playing
yeah.
the Electric Mayhem. So it's such a good note to go out on, though. Like, they're
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
themselves and so funny and so cool, and they get a great number.
Right, and so the song is called "Rockin' All Around the World," and it's great. And they've done a few concerts in the past few years, right? At the live shows and
Yeah.
at the the Outlands Music Festival.
Mhm.
Was that what it was called?
Outside Lands, yeah.
Yeah, they should do the song at that stuff. Like,
They
I
really
know
should.
nobody knows it, but like it's like a
Yeah.
banger. People would enjoy it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really
You know, like
And
Well, they have an audience when they're performing it here, and it's like, it would be so much fun to be an extra in that scene.
They have
Sure,
like
yeah.
3 audiences. If you'll notice, they set up that bandstand in 3 different places in
Oh, they're
World
in 3
Showcase.
different
Yeah,
countries?
yeah. There's one.
Okay.
It
Huh.
ends up. I know it ends in Mexico because at the very end of the song, when the song's over, everybody like throws their Mexican hats up in the air.
Yeah, which I guess
But they do
maybe
not
some cultural
start
appropriation in this number that they,
Oh, but
they
that's,
might
you know,
not
that's
do
what-
the same way today.
That's what World
but-
Showcase is all about.
World Showcase is all about cultural appropriation.
Kind of, yeah. So
sure
they
it
start
is.
they start in Germany, I think. Oh, I wish I should have paid
Mm.
attention. But anyway, but like so there are various setups where they got an audience to be very excited. And then there's also all these little inserts where like they in each of those setups, they have different costumes. And then there's also all these little inserts where like Janice has a Japanese outfit and Clifford has like a Middle Eastern outfit.
Right.
And it's awesome.
The suit is in France with a stripy shirt.
Yes, yeah. I want an action figure for every single one of those. I was just looking at that like, I want that toy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Like with like Floyd and Animal and their like little German outfits and Zoot with his
I
stripy
really
shirt.
like that shot where Animal is in the foreground sort of shouting the lyrics at us, and then we see Floyd in the background holding
like
on
holding a
to
chain.
his leash for dear life. Yeah, that's a really cool shot.
So I want all those toys. That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
and of course Clifford played the bass in Solid Foam, the band on the Jim Henson Hour, but the Electric Mayhem already has a bass player, so he just has to play all the like auxiliary percussion instruments, like a little glockenspiel and some maracas and things like that.
Cowbell.
Yeah,
Pretty fun to see Clifford play the glockenspiel.
yeah.
Oh, and they have like a little collection of Small World. It's a Small World dolls who come by.
Oh yeah, which
And
are
think
those
it's
in
a
Muppet
small
Vision
world after
3D?
all.
I was trying to think like they didn't build those just for this, did they?
No, you're
Okay.
right. I forgot about that. But yeah, because they're not like actual Small World characters.
No, they're not like the figures from the ride.
You're right. They do use that for 3D. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's part of the special.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I agree that it's the best part. There are a couple of other things that kind of run through. You know, we see Kermit and Robin from time to time, and mostly they don't really do very much. Kermit just kind of says,
They get lost.
we're missing the bug fry. It's scum skimming time."
Yeah.
You know?
Kermit is very upset about missing the scum skimming tournament, even though Gary always wins because he cheats. He's a scam scum skimmer.
You love that. You look so happy.
I love those kinds of wordplay jokes. I always do.
It's so fun. But so what the big thing Kermit does is that he meets
Robin.
he gets separated from Robin. He meets Raven Simone,
Yes.
who is 5 years old at this time.
Yes.
Now I say Kermit meets Raven Simone. You might be picturing an adult like from Raven's home, but that's not who it is. She was a little girl.
Was she on The View at some point or one of those shows?
She was on The View for a little while, yeah. But yeah, so she was on the Cosby Show at this time. I think people still
NBC
probably
star Raven Simone.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and she's literally 5 years old.
But this is the
Like,
this
I mean,
is the
she's-
nightmare version of Raven and Simone. Like she turns out like
Right.
she, you know, basically everything she does after this, she's really cool, she's really fun, and in this, she is the most like just treacly, like fake little 5-year-old who's been like wound up and trained. I hate her in this.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about this sequence because I do think that a lot of the stuff she did on the Cosby Show, she was funny and, you know, like an adorable little kid. But yeah, I don't know what's different about it here, but it's just kind of
I think within the sitcom environment, she's acting like she's on a sitcom.
Yeah, that's probably...
Which means she's not like emotionally connecting with Kermit at all.
Right. And it kind of sounds, I mean, and maybe I should, well, no, I do not want to go back and watch the Cosby Show for obvious reasons, but something about her performance or her delivery, like it definitely sounds like she's just repeating lines that
Yes.
she just learned, or it never sounds natural.
I
She's
think
5.
Oh, well, of course.
Right.
But the way that I
This is
remember
more-
her on the Cosby Show is
Yeah.
feeling much more natural.
Yeah.
well, I think Jay Sandrich directed most of those Cosby shows,
Mhm.
and so I think like by the time Olivia came along, he'd done all that stuff with Rudy.
Right.
I think that they had a director on the show who knew how to get
do that.
natural
Yeah. Who
Who
performances.
knew how to
from
get a
children.
performance out of a young
And-
kid.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Peter Harris is that person. You know what I mean? Like
No. Yeah.
Sure.
directed the Muppet Show. There's no
Yeah.
children on the Muppet Show except
Right.
for Robin. Who's played by a 45-year-old man.
Right.
It is really cute though that she sings Rainbow Connection to Kermit. And I love the little moment where he says, "I don't believe this."
That
That's
kind
very
of saves it for me.
Yeah.
That it's all this cutesy stuff, but then Kermit is a little bit like what's going on here?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think Raven has worked with the Muppets as an adult
No.
or even like as a teenager, like even like That's So Raven time. She's not in like the Studio DC specials.
Well, right, because the
were-
other Cheetah
yeah.
girls are in one of those, right? But she wasn't.
Yeah, right. It's like the
That would
other
be
Cheetah
that would have
girls-
been the moment. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but she had become too big a star by that point.
right. But it's too bad because I think she'd be delightful with them.
Yeah.
And I kind of don't know why it didn't happen during her Disney Channel star heyday.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
don't know.
There must
A dozen years
be
ago,
there must be
15 years
beef
ago.
from this special.
yeah, maybe.
Something
and Kermit had a
must have
falling
happened.
out.
Yeah, something happened.
Yeah. But
No, what we
anyway,
have
so
not
that happens.
discussed is Rizzo because I have very
That's what I was going to say next.
great.
Is the other thing is that we follow Quentin Fitzwaller, who is trying to capture the Muppets, and he captures one, which is Rizzo. And Rizzo immediately turns heel and sells out his friends for a hot dog.
Yes.
Which
Pretty much.
is,
I mean, he also gets popcorn later. He basically,
He gets like
we're
a,
led to
gets an
understand
ice cream
that.
bar.
Yeah, that Fitzwaller is just buying Rizzo food, and Rizzo is supposedly helping Fitzwaller find the Muppets.
Yeah.
The Kismet
Right, well-
gang.
the Kismet Gang, which I think this stuff is funny. It's they would have used Pepe for this. You know, like it feels
yeah.
so much like a Pepe storyline
Absolutely.
that it's kind of strange now. But I think Rizzo's good in it. What were your thoughts, Danny? You said you had something to say about Rizzo.
Well, do you? So the moment when Fitzwaller like grabs Rizzo, I want to know if you guys can figure out how it's done. It's so cute. I think it must be remote control. Do you know what I'm talking about? That like
Yeah,
he's
when he's
sitting
on the
on
hot dog stand.
Yeah, he's sitting on the hot dog stand, like in the front of the hot dog stand, and moving his mouth. And then Gordon comes along and picks him up, and I think it's like the same shot. Like Rizzo is still talking, and he's like sitting in Gordon's hand. And then there's a cut to like then it's a two shot of them, and then Rizzo is obviously being performed by Whitmire.
Yeah, I assume.
I bet it was
remote
radio control. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's cool.
it is.
I just think it's the coolest thing. I
Well, it's
don't
one of
remember
those,
noticing
yeah,
it like
seamless-
before this time, but yeah, like it's amazing. Like it looks great, and I'm
Yeah.
so impressed.
Rizzo already is sort of like his actual movement is
is very
less
restricted
than
yeah.
a lot of the other Muppets. Yeah,
Yeah,
so it
it's so
doesn't
tiny.
make as much of a difference when he switches to being radio controlled.
Yeah. It's the same with Pepe, right? They're just basically it's just like a little
It's like the
it's
little
a trigger.
mechanism. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I just thought that it just worked so well. I love that shot of Gordon just like picking him up and his mouth is still moving.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then later there's
good.
one where Fitzwaller's holding a popcorn bucket and Rizzo is kind of sitting inside it. So for that, I assume
Yeah.
there's just a hole in the bottom of the bucket and Steve Whitmire sticking his hand up through this popcorn bucket.
Right, probably.
It's good
Yeah.
Rizzo stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, and he
So-
makes fun of Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right. He says something. No rodents allowed in the park.
No rodents
Yeah.
allowed. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he says, "What about your boss, Mickey Mouse?" And he's like, "Well, Mickey's
Mickey.
Mickey."
Right.
And
Yeah,
then Rizzo
Mickey's
goes,
Mickey.
Mickey,
Yeah.
Mickey.
Yeah.
It's really funny. But during this storyline, then he eventually dispatches his agents to capture the Kismet Gang. And his agents are the Seven Dwarfs, costumed characters of the Seven Dwarfs. Which, do you guys like that? It seems like nothing
I mean,
to me. I don't know.
It doesn't.
Oh, I think it's
Not
super
much.
cute.
Not much
Yeah?
comes of it. There's that scene where they're going down the.
That's the main thing. It's that one
The sort of
scene.
main street
Yeah.
of Hollywood Studios, and the dwarfs are just like looking around in places where the Muppets obviously wouldn't be, and he's getting increasingly frustrated with them. That's cute, I guess. He says your top men act like top men. I do think the phrase "top men" is hilarious.
That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the way Charles Grodin says
It
it,
is
like
now.
that's,
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what happens is that all of the plot threads. So, do you have something else to say about that, Danny?
I just think it's so funny that like Animal chases around Snow White and they bring in the Seven Dwarfs. In my version of this special, like they would interact with like Pirates of the Caribbean and like you can imagine so many like funny combinations of like Miss Piggy and Cinderella and Prince Charming, and like where you could see like, oh, these characters could have like played off each other in various ways. And so I just think it's funny that they like kept them so far away from the IP.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know why that would be.
Yeah.
Like they don't go on. They don't go on the Jungle Cruise. They don't go on the Haunted Mansion,
Or like Peter Pan, or like any
or
of the
even
kind of
talk
obvious
about
thing.
it. Yeah, they don't even make references to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Closest they get to Fantasyland is the teacups, and that is it. They are out.
Yeah. Huh.
Interesting to me.
Sure,
Oh, well, how
I'm
do we
sure it's
feel
interesting
about-
to many people. Yeah,
In the year 2022, how do we feel about Animal chasing Snow White around?
I think it's very funny. And I'm going to stick to it.
Well, here's why I like it though. She seems like she's having a blast.
Oh yeah, she's
is-
smiling the whole
She is
time.
smiling the entire time. She keeps
And then-
turning around and smiling at him.
Yeah,
Like,
to make
this
sure that
does
he's
not
still there.
Like we've talked about how like the woman in Muppets Take Manhattan seems like she's like actually screaming,
Like
she's
in
being
distress.
chased by
Screaming,
monsters.
yeah, she
Yeah.
wants to get rid of him.
Yeah, and this Snow White seems like this is the
She's
most
down.
fun she's had all day.
It's
She is
fun,
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then at the end, when Animal shows up in the Indiana Jones stunt show, there's a shot of the audience applauding, and Snow White is
And
also
she's
there
laughing
clapping
and
for
clapping.
Animal. So
Yeah.
right, yeah.
She's totally down.
she appreciates him.
So,
yeah, all right.
and speaking of Indiana Jones, that is where all the plot threads, such as they are, start to come
Yes.
together. By which I mean everybody just goes to the Indiana Jones stunt show.
Mm-hmm.
Animal chases in Snow White, like we said. Kermit and Fozzie see Animal and follow him in. And then the Electric Mayhem see Kermit and follow him in, etc. And eventually everyone...
Because Dr. Teeth misses his green flippery presence.
Yes.
Sure, yeah.
And Beauregard
so then-
drags Piggy in.
Beauregard convinces Piggy that the shortcut to the Chinese theater is through the Indiana Jones theater, despite the fact that she can clearly see the Chinese theater across the way.
yeah.
Criminal mastermind, Beauregard.
She must have really, her
Yeah.
brain got very rattled on those rides.
Yeah.
But so they go into the Indiana Jones show, and a guy is calling for volunteers from the audience. He wants a leading man, a real Tom Selleck type for Indiana, which that must be a reference to the fact that Selleck was almost cast, right?
It
I mean, they
must
don't
be
s-
intentional. Yeah.
It seems weird.
And why
Seems
was he just he didn't get it because he had to do Magnum PI?
He got-
or what
yeah.
was the story with that?
he was almost going to do it, and then Magnum PI got picked up.
Right.
So he did that instead, which I think like he would have been fine. I don't think that movie is a classic with Tom Selleck in the lead. You know,
Not
I
the way
don't.
it is with Harrison Ford,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah.
So the Indiana Jones stunt show has been there since almost when the Hollywood Studios opened. It's still there. They do actually have volunteers from the audience come up on stage, but they do not play the main characters.
They don't play Indiana
for the
Jones,
show.
and they don't play
A sturdy
Piggy is
peasant
cast.
woman.
A sturdy peasant woman. Yeah. So
Yeah.
they get up there. It's
So
really
I
it's
just, like-
genuinely a thrill.
Yeah,
I think-
and this is like one of the funniest parts, and I love that, you know, like we've been saying, like Beauregard is like bizarrely kind of carrying Piggy around through the whole thing, but like what happens is like the guy says, "Hey, we want you to be in our show," and she's so excited and thrilled, and like that
She's-
is actually
yeah.
like a perfect Miss Piggy moment of like,
yeah.
of course I'm going to be one of the leads in this show.
She has this line where she says, "Shouldn't we have a deal memo?"
Yeah.
Which is apparently just like a showbiz contract when an actor is intending to be in a movie or something. So that's what percentage of the audience watching got that joke?
Yeah.
Shouldn't we have a deal memo?
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's great.
Oh, also, there's a lady in the audience in that shot who appears to be be right down at Frank Oz.
Oh, really?
While
I didn't
Piggy's
notice
delivering
that.
that line.
Oh, that's
yeah.
awesome.
I love that. Wouldn't you here? You got that bald noggin down there, like you.
I
your
mean,
eyes drawn
it would be
straight to it.
tempting, but I'm sure they must have said like, okay, everybody, look at the
Please
puppets.
try not to,
Don't look
yeah.
at the puppeteers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
But it would
right.
just be tempting. Yeah.
But yeah, again, like
Either
these
way-
are all like it feels like these are all like Disney World guests for the
I
day.
think so. Yeah.
And
I'm
they
sure
said,
they are,
hey,
yeah.
instead of seeing the regular Indiana Jones stunt spectacular, you're going to see the Muppet version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Full House and Step by Step episodes also incorporated this and had like characters from their shows
Oh, really?
take part, but it was not
Not as good.
funny as
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about the Code Man doing it or Joey Gladstone or whatever.
I don't
But
remember. Well, so it's on Full House. DJ is hallucinating her boyfriend Steve being Indiana Jones.
Oh,
And
right,
on Step by Step,
because he's Aladdin and everywhere she sees it's
right. He's not there, and she's missing him, and she keeps
Right.
thinking that she's seeing him all
I
over.
do enjoy the meta joke of him being Aladdin when he's actually
Aladdin,
the voice
right,
of
'cause-
Aladdin. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And
Also,
of course,
we should point out that he was. You say it, Ryan. You're itching.
he was later a writer on the Muppets ABC sitcom,
Yes.
or a producer, or both.
Scott Weinger. Anyways, in this one, the Code Man's not in this one, Ryan.
No.
But it is a thrill. It's genuinely a thrill to hear that John Williams theme and see Kermit in the Indiana Jones costume.
Which later inspired a Palisades action figure.
Yeah.
Adventure Kermit.
Adventure Kermit.
Right. They couldn't call it Indiana Jones Kermit. Yeah.
Right. So he's just Adventure Kermit. Love that. And what else happens here? I mean, it's just kind of they go through the stunt show and there's a bunch of funny jokes.
At the beginning, there's a clapper slate, whatever you call that thing, in front of the camera. It says production Raiders of the Lost Pig. Director, yes. Camera, no.
That's good. So they just kind of go.
And Kermit is saying throughout that he doesn't want to be shooting people. Which
should not be as funny as it is. I'm kind of not sure why that works. It should be heavy-handed, I feel. But for some reason, it makes me laugh every time.
It seems like something I shouldn't like, but I do.
Well, it's because his lines are like, I would like to go on record as being opposed to the use of violence for purposes of conflict resolution. However, and then he shoots a guy.
Right. Yeah.
That's hardcore.
But then he keeps asking them if they're okay.
Yeah.
I do think the Muppet Show version of Kermit maybe would have just like jumped right into this without hesitation. But this is the later sort of like more, I don't know,
like
more
giddy,
sentimental.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they just didn't want like. So one thing is, I believe this is the first time there's ever been a swastika in a Muppet production.
Yeah.
Must be.
That's funny to me.
Yeah, I looked this up. On the actual show in Hollywood Studios in 2004, they removed all the swastikas.
Oh, really?
And replaced them with the bar cross symbol, which was a symbol of the German military for many years. Which is, it still kind of means the same thing or something very similar.
But it's not the same kind of iconography.
It's not a swastika.
Like, there's like Miss Piggy in a truck that has a swastika on it.
Right. It's striking.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't replaced it with a Hydra logo yet.
Oh, yeah, they could do that.
And I guess, and one thing I think that makes the Kermit, like, I don't really want to be firing this gun thing work is because then Piggy gets behind a machine gun and is just mowing people down.
Yeah.
Blasting away, yeah.
Right, she doesn't care.
And having a wonderful time.
With how violent it is.
And he yells, Miss Piggy, how are we going to explain this to Big Bird?
Yeah.
It's good.
And she's she doesn't say anything, but she doesn't care. She doesn't care about that guy.
Yeah.
No, just don't tell Big Bird about it. He doesn't have to know.
Yeah. I do like the idea that Kermit always keeps Big Bird's sensitive nature in mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, this ends with Charles Grodin Quentin Fitzwaller showing up at the stunt show, apprehending Kermit and Piggy and saying, "Gotcha," or something like that.
Yeah.
I think he says, "Victory is mine."
Victory is mine. You're right. Yeah.
And the audience applauds, and Charles Grodin looks right in the camera. He's so proud of himself.
Yes.
And I noticed Piggy mutters something. It sounds like Piggy says, "Who are you?"
Really?
Oh, that'd be funny.
I hope that's what she says, because that would be hilarious. I couldn't quite tell for sure, but yeah.
So he says he's going to turn them into the chief, and Kermit says that he and Mickey are in the same union, the Fictional Animal Stars of America, which is great.
Yeah, this is where they've all gathered back at the front gate of MGM Studios, which does raise the question of how did Robin get back with everyone? Because the last time we saw Robin, he was on a monorail headed off to who knows where.
Yeah,
just a child, a minor, just wandering around this giant resort by himself.
But that's what Raven is doing.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes. Where are Raven's parents?
Oh, yeah.
I meant to ask that because she even says something at one point about my mom always says, I don't know.
My mom who let me off the leash and is now.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it is funny.
Now getting a Dole Whip over in Adventureland while
I love Dole Whip.
Yep.
But Kermit says something like, "Didn't your mom ever teach you not to talk to strange frogs?"
No.
So that's
no. She's free range. Raven.
She's just hanging out. Yeah, maybe Raven, Simone, and Robin hung out for some of this day. We don't know.
That'd be kind of fun.
Could have met up.
Yeah, they went on the Dumbo ride together.
They can compare their experiences as child actors.
Yeah.
So they all go back to Mickey's office. The whole gang goes to Mickey's office.
Fitzwaller is talking to Mickey on the phone, and this is where Kermit does become a more assertive version of himself because he's like demanding to speak to
Yeah.
Mickey once he realizes that that's who's on the phone. And he says they're old buddies because they're both members of FASA, Fictional Animal Stars of America.
I already
is
said
And all
that.
the other...
Which is extremely postmodern.
Yeah, yeah. But also the other characters seem like they've never heard of this before.
No,
which
they
is
are not
kinda
members.
sad. Like,
Yeah.
Piggy
No, I
doesn't
know.
get
Yeah,
to
it's
be a
not-
member of FASA.
It's
that
not
kinda makes
fictional
sense, though,
animal
doesn't it?
supporting characters of America.
I don't know. I think Piggy qualifies as being a star as much as Kermit.
But I think only the I would assume based on the fact that it's just him and Mickey, it's just
Who
going
else
to be
would be
like
in it?
mascot characters,
Snoopy.
right? It's
Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, Snoopy. It's Bugs Bunny.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Right.
Lassie, maybe.
Sure, Lassie. Sure, Rin Tin Tin, right?
Like
Garfield.
Honey Nut Cheerios bee.
Yeah.
Oh,
Eddie from Frasier in a few years.
yeah, sure.
Possibly.
But so they all go into Mickey's office, and Mickey is animated and voiced by Wayne Allwine, who
Yep.
played
The first
Mickey
time
for
I saw
30
the
years.
special, I was so sure that it was just going to be a costume character.
That's what I was going to say. Is that
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
such a good decision that it's
lovely,
not,
yeah.
and that it's Wayne Allwine, right?
Because usually, even in commercials for the theme parks, they just show a person in a Mickey costume to represent
and
Mickey. But this,
and they could have done that. They could have opened a door
Right.
and there's Mickey sitting at a desk, and they just like walk in, right, or whatever, and that's the
And
end.
it's grim and yeah.
Yeah, but instead, it's he sounds like Wayne Allwine.
it's
He and
the
Mickey,
real Mickey.
Yeah.
yeah, it's the real Mickey, and he says, like we always say, when you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. And Kermit says, we always say, someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Which is fun.
And Floyd
That's so charming.
says, they're starting to argue philosophy.
Yeah, that rules.
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, so that's so much better than just like like grinning,
Yeah.
rictus grin Mickey.
Yeah. In fact, I wonder if that's why there aren't more other costume characters featured in the special, because it might seem weird if there was a Donald Duck costume 10 minutes ago
right,
and then they
yeah.
meet Mickey and he's like the real animated Mickey. So they may have chosen to be judicious about stuff like that
Oh, that's
for
possible,
that
yeah.
reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
I also like the moment when Kermit is introducing all the Muppets. For one thing, he introduces Robin as Nephew Robin, which is very cute. But then Mickey says, "Where's Miss Piggy?" And then Piggy just kind of magically appears in the doorway in this very glamorous dress. And Mickey does a take like, "Whoa, she's so hot."
And isn't there kind of like sexy music too? Isn't there like
Yeah.
like a
Yeah,
little
it's like a
sax riff?
saxophone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks
But then Fozzie says, if there's one thing Piggy knows, it's how to make an entrance, which is Kermit's exact line from
the
Muppet
Christmas.
Family Christmas.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That is a
So
thing
like we
now.
talked earlier about how throughout the 80s specials there was always this big entrance for Miss Piggy thing. But here, like, it's not even that big of an entrance. She just like comes in the door.
She's just
You know,
wearing
she's
nicer
not, like,
clothes
fu-
than she was a minute ago.
But it's
Right,
funny and
but
surprising.
she's
Like she
not-
went and she got her purse and she went.
Right, I guess so,
went
but
down
she's
to change.
not carried in by like four buff dudes on a throne. She doesn't fall down a flight of stairs. She doesn't arrive in a sled with Doc and 8 dogs or whatever.
She's not introduced by a chorus of singing penguins.
Yeah, she just
But she gets
just
her own.
walks
You
in
know,
the door.
she gets
but
her
they
own music cue.
I guess so, but it's like I don't know. It's pretty low rent compared to some of them. So I think that's why they have to have Fozzie say it. So it's
Yeah.
like, no, this counts. No, she's making an
This is it.
entrance. We did it.
This is one of them. Yeah.
And then Mickey says, "Welcome to the family."
Which is pretty
Because-
funny in retrospect, like you said.
Because now,
Yeah.
well, but that was the thing is like now they are acting like they have already signed the agreement. they've already
So
they've already
sure it's
signed the
gonna happen.
contract.
There was no reason to think that it wouldn't.
Yeah. And
Uh,
and it's actually a thing that what was it like 3 weeks after the special, they did the Here Come the Muppets live show. So like the Muppets were like Muppet Vision 3D was still a year away because it was complicated, but like this was supposed to be the moment when like now the Muppets are in the Disney parks.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was like it's starting now.
Yeah, and so weird that they hadn't signed the papers yet.
Yeah.
But everybody
Yeah.
assumed that this was how this was going to be.
Right. Yeah,
When
it's
Mickey
happening.
puts his arms around Kermit and says, "Welcome to the family," Kermit sort of flinches or something. Like he's kind of moving in a way that makes me think like maybe Kermit doesn't want to be hugged by this mouse. I don't know.
Or maybe they weren't.
That could be an unintentional metaphor too, in retrospect.
Well, given that he, they did the puppetry and then they did the animation over that, so he may not have been exactly sure. Like, where am I supposed to put my body so I can be?
No idea where. So he's kind of looking around, like, is Mickey over here? Is Mickey over there?
Right. So then they all go out to the Chinese theater and they sing a song called More, More, More.
Yes.
Which to me sounds a little too much like the Looney Tunes TV theme. You know the song, Overture, Curtain Lights.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's called On with the Show, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And this is basically, I mean, it's like not quite the same tune, but it's like thematically the same, and tune is very similar.
Mm-hmm.
And I have lyrical issues. I like this song. I think it's really fun. But
yeah, I think it's fun too.
Raise the curtains and light the lights. It's for certain the time is right. Totally fine. It works together. It works apart. It goes without saying that it comes from the heart. Explain that.
That's meaningless.
It works together. It works apart. What does that mean? It really bothers me.
The whole cast, they work well together, and they work well when it's just one of them performing alone on the stage.
And then it says, so raise an eyebrow and lift an ear. We got you smiling. We hear your cheers. I'm just saying the lyrics are weird in this. I think all of these songs have like at least one, except for Rockin' Around the World, which is perfect. Every other song has like at least one line that I'm like, that line just doesn't make sense.
I think I like that quirkiness though.
Yeah.
I think that this song, the lyrics mean it was due yesterday. And I gotta slap something on the face.
Right, and so I need a line.
Here's the Looney Tunes TV theme with some new lyrics.
I think the general theme of it is very good for the Muppets though, because it's just a song about how much they love performing, which is kind of their whole deal. So, and then the other thing about the Chinese theater at MGM Studios, they do actually have, much like the real Chinese theater in Hollywood, there are some celebrity handprints and signatures in the concrete outside that thing at Hollywood Studios, including Jim Henson and Kermit's. Mm-hmm. And I have been there. I have stuck my hands in Jim Henson's handprints, and I can report that my hands are the same size as Jim Henson's, which of course means absolutely nothing, but it was exciting to discover it.
Oh, that's very cute.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like the choreography here is basically like stuff all of the puppets in the frame at the same time and make them like sway back and forth.
Yeah,
right.
You can see in the blooper reel that
how hard
there's
that
like
was to
3
achieve.
levels of puppet. There's like the top, the middle, and then people in the back are at the top.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway, you know what I mean. You can see in the blooper reel that the Muppets at the back, who are the highest up in the frame, are being performed like one puppeteer with 2 puppets, one on each hand. And a lot of them are not so synchronized with everyone else with the choreography and the lip syncing. So that's kind of fun to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they do like the Jim Henson hour ending where you see like all of the characters in like the places where they were during the special.
Yeah, I like that.
Still singing like a little bit of it.
Like
you're right. That is a Jim Henson
Bunsen. Yeah, Bunsen and Beaker singing a line in front of Spaceship Earth, and
like Snow White. Snow White with Animal and with Link. It's very cute.
Yeah. So then, after the song, everyone else heads back to the swamp, but Piggy gets stuck in the cement, and she's stuck in the cement forever to this day. The end.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where they left her. She was signing autographs with her feet in the cement. Nobody thought to ask her if she was going to come back to the swamp with them,
and she's still there.
Yeah.
So this is a remote control Piggy, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Like we see her whole body as the camera zooms all the way out.
But it's great. I think this is a very solid ending.
Yeah,
I do too. I think it's really funny. Yeah, it's a perfect ending.
And Anthony, you should be happy that they go back to the swamp to spend time with Kermit's family. After all,
you're right. I am.
That's how it ends. Yeah. And Gonzo has discovered the joys of eating mosquitoes. So
and everybody actually seems. I mean, that is the thing at the end of a Disney park day. You're just like exhausted and want to like chill and like
Yeah, let's just go back
sit
to
in the
hotel
mud.
and relax.
Yeah, with these
Fried
boring,
bugs.
Sit in the mud.
with these boring frogs.
Yeah. Break Newton's laws.
Yeah.
Yeah, break some Newton's laws. So that's Muppets at Walt Disney World.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
and
a good
Beaker still
one.
has the bucket on his head at the
Yes.
very end.
Yeah.
So he's
Still got that too.
Piggy will forever be stuck in the cement, and Beaker will forever have a bucket stuck on his head.
Yeah.
And then this is the moment. It feels to me like we need something where it's like, and then the Muppets stopped. Like, it's this really fun. I'm gonna bring everyone down, but like it's this like I think it's super fun, special, weird in a lot of places, but fun. And then this is a very exciting, like, welcome to the family. We're gonna be all over Disney parks now. But this is the last moment when Jim is here and things are right.
Right.
And everything.
And actually, if people don't know, you should look up all the plans that they had
Yeah.
for like a Muppet parody of the Great Movie Ride and a Gonzo restaurant and like the Muppets taking over the parks for a year.
Yeah.
But then, none of
there
that
was so
happened.
much good stuff that was going to come. And basically, literally after, like, there's Miss Piggy stuck in the cement and it pulls back. And then that is the end of Innocence. Like, that is the end of of the phase of the Muppets when Henson is there. Everything from now is a compromise.
Right. Well, and it's one of those things where the order of the actual order of productions is too bad in this case, because I think Muppet Family Christmas feels like the perfect ending, right? Like,
yeah,
like that's where I want to leave Henson era Muppets is at Fozzie's mom's house, all singing, all like laughing together, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Yeah.
The end,
Yeah.
And I like this one. Yeah, this is like an epilogue. I like it. I'm glad it exists.
Yeah.
But like,
this was supposed to be actually like, if that was, I agree that's like a good ending for that phase. And then this was supposed to be
the start of a new phase.
Yeah. Of this
new
new like 15 years that Henson was going to be working with Disney.
Well, and then there's Muppet Vision 3D, which is its own thing.
Yeah,
it does, it's so much shorter. It doesn't have as many characters in it. So it's not quite the same kind of thing.
Right. And speaking of Muppet Vision 3D, that seems like a good place to segue into our goodbyes, because when you hear us next, we will be doing a bonus episode on Muppet Vision 3D. Okay. That is our.
We're never going to get to Muppet Christmas Carol at this rate. We're just going to keep doing bonus episodes.
Right. Although I don't know, that may or may not be our last one before we get to Muppet Christmas Carol.
We'll see.
Do the like the presidential inauguration celebration?
Well, no, but we might do celebrate Jim Henson. We're not sure yet.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But we will definitely do Muppet Vision 3D. That'll be next. So that brings us down to the end. Listeners, until we return, you can always check out toughpigs.com on our website, on Facebook, on Twitter. You can become a patron on Patreon if you want to throw us a few bones. And you can always email us at movinrightalong@toughpigs.com. Tell us if you are a Disney Parks fan or if you also enjoy, I don't know, nature.
But don't try to change Anthony's mind.
About
it's not going to work.
Working.
Right. You can follow Ryan on Twitter at @MeRyanRowe. You can follow Ryan on Letterboxd at Movies Are Neat, and you can follow me on Letterboxd at Zeppo Marxist. Danny, what do you want to tell our listeners about your work and where to find you before you go?
You can find me at superheroeseveryday.com. And I am also on Twitter. And and please come by and check it out.
Yeah, well, once again, co-signed. Highly recommended.
I'll just thank you guys very much for having me here for Henson's Last Bow.
Yeah, it's always great to have you on.
Always a pleasure to have you on.
I'm actually really excited to see once this episode has been edited where this ranks in the ranking of longest episodes of this podcast.
It might be the new record holder.
We will see.
In any case, thank you as always to Stacey Rosen for our theme music and to Morgan Davy for designing our logo. And thank you to you listeners for your support and for leaving us a positive review wherever you get your podcasts. Tell all your friends to listen, and we'll be back in the future with another episode of Moving Right Along. Goodbye.
Bye.
Got a brand new phone to call my own.